Hello everybody, welcome back to Jack's Facts and Safety. I'm Jack, and today we're doing the Workbench. This is Gold Rush Part 2. The machine we're looking at is the second Airspeed Gold that I recently found within the last month. I found this last Tuesday. Today is Saturday. This would be the Tuesday before this Saturday. It is March 22nd. I found this on the 18th. This is quite in an interesting spot, to say the least. It was technically still on the side of the road, curbside. However, it was at the end of a private drive. Had a right at the little turn. It was sitting right there next to a clear plastic container and a disposable aluminum food tray. The thing was very much congested. The bin was pretty much all the way full, and it had a bad clog at the lower hose. After dumping it and letting the machine run, it eventually cleared itself up. Now, it works just fine. The belt's a little loose, but other than that, the brush roll sounds good, and there's not much dirt or debris in the end caps either. The hose is pretty much unused. I think this hose saw the most use when I was using the vacuum to clean out its own bottom half under this cover. But anyways, we're going to clean it out properly now. Starting off with the dustbin. See, it's definitely dirty, but nearly not as dirty as the last. That is the filter. The filter doesn't look terrible. Still is dusty, but it could be better. It, however, does not want to come out, it looks like. We won't have to worry too much, because I do have a spare filter from the other one. There we go. A little bit of force later, finally it came loose. See right here, where it was probably hooking on. This filter has clearly not been removed in a long time. Anyways, I might, sorry, some dust got on my phone. I might wash this out. We'll see how clean I can get this. But if it's not perfectly clean, I do have another lid with the already clean filter from the other one ready to go. This is a shroud, dusty as always. The filter and the bin itself, which has some dust in it. That is because I used it a little bit. I'll empty that before I wash it. But before I wash it, I want to remove this screw back here so that it doesn't rust. That's the only screw. That's about as far as I think I'll take this piece apart, because these hinges are very fragile and I do not want to break them. I could just pry them off with a screwdriver, but I still don't want to risk it. Still got dust on my phone, sorry. Anyways. Alright, now we'll take out the post motor filter. You know, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to try washing it though, because I do think I see some dust intrusion. but it does look to be in decent shape. Now we take off the tools. It came with these, the dusting brush and the turbo brush. Set those aside so they look fairly clean too. I'll be taking this machine entirely apart to clean it, which means that I'll have to get to the back side, undo the cord, move this out of the way. Drop the cord out, let it fall like that. Climb the machine so you can see it properly. Loosen the hose from this other hook. Sort of get in back here with my finger. Loosen this tab. As you can see, the hose is in fact pretty clean, so I think I'll just leave the hose as is. Since it's as clean as it is. Now I'll come up here and undo the magnetic turbo brush holder. I'll just wipe this off with a rag and some window or glass cleaner. Next thing I want to do is get this off. But still gotta undo them like that. I think once I get this off, it'll be okay. Yep, there it is. There's a nice plastic cover. This little tab right here holds on the hose latch. This piece right here will also get cleaned since it's dusty and stuff. Move some of the stuff over here out of the way. And now we can flip the machine over. I start here on its side. We will undo this clip here. As you know, this spine is held on by two of these little clips right here. And then the spine basically comes off like on an old Hoover Elite. Some people might think this is a bad design, but oh well. I've yet to see clips like this fail, but also I've not seen very many of these, so maybe they do fail. A little shaky shake, and the spine comes off. Kind of grody right there. I'll deal with that later. Now we're at the bottom of the machine. This thing It's definitely cleaned up something wet. All these water damaged screws will be replaced with good condition screws that were from the other one, which I've saved over in a bowl. I think I might also clean this one up. Because I'm now actually familiar with these, it's a lot easier to take apart, which is nice. So, there you go. Cord is now out. I can just rest over here on the floor. Switch is now out. It's a little stiff, but it still works. You can see, turn on the flash real quick and zoom in. You can see stuff is kind of built up. They definitely sucked up something wet with this at one point, given that there's all this buildup around this hole and everything. So probably not a good thing to see. Also, all these water spots and stuff in the air intake for the motor. It's definitely not a good sign, which is a little bit worrying, but it's not the worst sounding one in the world. Granted, it doesn't sound the best, but it is not in the worst shape possible. I'd usually use a Phillips bit here, but unfortunately my Phillips bit isn't an impact gun, and that is upstairs. But sometimes just doing it yourself is better, because you can control how much force goes into it. As you can see, there's stuff building up here. Telltale sign of it getting wet. To prevent these two little metal pieces from rusting when getting washed, I will take them out. So I have used the magnetic dish to magnetize the end of my screwdriver. They will not fall into the onto the floor. This little black belt guard piece I'll just loosen and then lift up. Another side that comes off, just to get the stuff that's underneath it. Not leave anything behind. As you can see, for an Airspeed, especially a 12-year-old Airspeed, the brush roll is in pretty darn good shape. I mean, this machine was not used heavily, you can tell. However, it was used to suck up wet things at one point, which isn't great. But other than that, it was used pretty darn lightly, and I respect that. It's just used until it wouldn't pick up anymore. It literally got so full. That or the water intrusion just gummed up stuff so bad that it plugged up. But either way, they didn't even empty it, so. Brush roll will go over here. This belt will come off. Since the belt is still good enough, I'll hold on to it. I plan on giving this to my sister, because even though they have a bagged version, I still thought I was only giving it to them temporarily and I'd find another machine for them to use. So I thought that this one is pretty similar. So exchange that one for this. As you can see, definitely got wet. That will be replaced with one from the other gold that was not used to pick up water, and hopefully they aren't rusty. That came out a lot easier than the other one. More signs of water buildup here, obviously. But we'll take care of that when it gets washed. Let's see, motor unit. I honestly am pretty fond of vacuums that can just have the motor unit in one big thing like this. There's one long screw that is not so easy to get out. Oop. However, it is not very stable. And then there's just one screw that's really deep down in there. See you in there. Where'd you go? There you go. Now there are going to be some people out there that are like, don't wash the filter, you'll diminish the performance, change it out. And that is where I remind you that I am a broke high school student. And therefore I do not have the money to replace literally everything. There are also people that will change out the brush rolls on their newly acquired vacuums. However, you can't really find a brush roll for these old Airspeeds anymore. Which is really unfortunate because they're probably one of the last good bagless machines Eureka made. These really early Airspeeds. Not the ones with that crappy cyclone. These ones. The ones with the crappy cyclone can be thrown into a ditch, never to be seen again. However, the ones without the cyclone, the ones with the DCF21 filter, I like them. Really do make brands like Dyson and Shark look weak. Because these things do clean pretty well for Walmart bagless vacuum. They do. I'll take a look at this later. Oh, yep. Corrosion. Thermal protector, positive wire. I know I probably shouldn't wash this piece because there are electrical contacts in them, but I think if I instantly wipe them off before or after, actually, after I wash them, I think it will be okay. Because I do not have soft water. I live in a fairly old house. Since I already have a clean set of height adjustment wheels, they're in slightly better condition, I will just throw these to the side and I'll clean them later. Out that comes. You can definitely tell that compared to the last one, gliding through this one a lot easier. If I could get this E-clip. There goes that E-clip. Be just fine if I tap it lightly. Feel this out. Repeat the same for the other side. No, no. deal. The base is now apart. Minus knee clip. Now we go for the final part, the handle. Two screws up here. It's to the point of no return. Tool caddy, and then the handle should, in theory, just slide right off like that. Of course, the inside part. We'll keep the inside part out here. And do a couple of screws up in the handle. This comes out, and the rest of it comes out. Alright, I'll get this stuff ready to be washed. Not entirely sure how this is supposed to come out, so I think I'll let it be. Never mind, there is Junebug in there. And yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay. This is the next day. All the parts have been washed and are mostly dry. Except for that hole, apparently. Just wipe that clean. There we go. We'll start with the old dustbin. First, to find the proper sized screw for it. It's in this dish somewhere. I think this is it. Removing the water spot. The filter and lid from the one that was parted out, as it's in a lot better shape, a lot cleaner. There we go. And then it's all back together. Dust around the rim. Now we can work on other stuff. Got at the motor shell. And the motor shell air duct. We're going to start off with putting these wires back in. Make sure it doesn't fall too loose, otherwise we'll have an issue with popping out. White wire. Slide in like that. The air duct. Air duct is held in by 4 screws. All of these screws are T20s, by the way, if you're ever curious. Because these are AC motors, it really doesn't matter which way you wire it up. However, it makes a lot of sense to have the red wire on top and the black wire on the bottom, because the black wire is the longest of the two. You want to put the longest wire, of course, in the longest position. It's not going anywhere. Tuck it in. Take the cover and then clamshell the 2 pieces together. The rubber gasket around the motor will make it a little spongy. Once you tighten these screws in, you will be able to close the motor shell. Does tire out your arm, so you do have to have good arm stamina for it. That's for sure. Dig 4 more screws out on the same length. Some of the important pieces can be taken out because we know where they go. What's nice about these is that there aren't a whole lot of screws holding them together. It's mainly clips, which may be concerning to some people about the quality, but I've yet to see any of these clips break. I feel like the old Electrolux Eurekas have a lot thicker plastic. Sharks can have like 10 screws holding the clamshell of the power nozzle together, which is a sign of very thin and flimsy plastic that you really don't want. Just double checking to see if I have all what I need in here. If not, I'll swipe some other parts and pieces. So this is back on. We'll get this top piece. We'll get the end of the cord. To the end of the cord here. Does not want to feed through. That makes me wonder if that goes the other way. And I say I think it does. And screws. Out of the way real quick. Black wire goes to the switch. Grab our foot pedal and the foot pedal spring. That in. Just seeing how that goes in there. Might have this in the wrong way. And now we have to get these onto here. Again, polarity doesn't really matter on an AC motor. It appears I did not do a very good job at wiping this down, but something is not going on. These rusty screws in here will be replaced with non-rusty screws. So we have this long screw. I believe this one goes in the back here. This is just a measure used that I do to prevent these screws from stripping out later on. Because if the screws strip out, then you can't really get the machine apart. Work on it. I think I'm just gonna move to the drill. Have it set to a torque setting so it will not, hopefully not, fully strip them out. Next up, we take the spine assembly and its various parts and pieces, and we just start putting it back together. Oops, sorry. These little clips go on right back here. I'm not entirely sure how people feel about these clips. I've never heard anyone really complain about them though, so I'm assuming that these clips are not common failure points. And Eureka did use this particular design for a long time. That should be on there. Tool caddy. Snaps. Now we move upward. The handle, which I've already put the inside back in. We just slide on here to the top, basically like you're putting the machine together, and then the tool holder will keep it in place. Accidentally kicked the dustbin. That's okay. The turbo brush holder, which I forgot to wipe down, apparently. Just going like that. This shell says HEPA filter and has the Airspeed logo. We'll try our best to hook back into place. Fits on like a glove. goes right on. The original HEPA filter for this one is still drying. Hold on. As I was saying, the original HEPA filter is still drying, so we'll put in the filter for the other one for taking a very dusty cover. I also forgot to wipe down. Slides in right on there. The dustbin, which is nice and spiffy, just slide right on in there. Can't forget the old turbo brush, which fits on with the magnet, of course. The dust brush goes on the back. The hose, this is not the right hose. This is the right hose, which does have a bit of dust on the outside. We'll just ease right in there. It's a little loose, but that's to be expected. And then we'll just loop on hook it right down there. Now the main motor unit is mostly assembled. Got our lower hose assembly. Part that clips to the vacuum itself, which just maybe we'll just clip on in there, this part, which will go to the base, will fit right on the other side. That's not all the way. Yep. So we'll take the main upright body down for a sec as we rebuild the base, which I have partially completed. Start off with the handle release, just pedal. The clip for it should still be in here. Yep. Spring first. Slips right in. And the pivot goes right here on the inside. And holds that in place. So I like how Eureka paid attention to details for the foot release. Really helpful. Take the clip, taking the anal noses and put the clip back in place. Bolts. Get the spare casters to the bottom right there. Wheels, just take a little bit of spray white lithium grease. This will prevent the axles from squeaking. Once the solvent on this dries, it will become a grease. Still not wanting to move, but I finally found the mallet. I have a punch right here, which I will take. See how far it's gone. Still got a little bit more to go. This one is so tight for some reason. And I think that should be in there. That'll be good enough for now. Take one of our clips. That is not in all the way, actually. Come on. There we go. Gotta be a little aggressive sometimes. Done. Next one hopefully shouldn't be as bad. Don't want any dust on it, so I'll just wear it out faster. It's also going to be this tough. In retaliation, mallet. Slid in a lot better. One thing that's tricky about these E-clips is they fall. And if your bit is not magnetized, it can be difficult to put it back into place. Not one of my favorite things to do, if I'm being honest. A bigger clip. That didn't work. I don't think this one is in all the way either. So another hit. See if that helps. Should be in enough now. Now that's in. Height adjustment wheel spring. Just let it rest right there. Height adjustment wheels will snap in place. Take the spring, snap it on. There's that. Do one thing to the cover before we put the machine back up. That is this tiny little spring right here needs to go into its place. If I put it in correctly, that might help, you know? That's not resting on anything. And that's more like it. Smaller Phillips heads to avoid the risk of stripping it out. There we go. That's in. Take a clip. And a screw. Let's start this one since it doesn't want to go in the correct way. There we go. Last of the Torx bits, we'll go to this bar here. I actually might have to recline it again. Get to here. There we go. I can. Oop. What a noise. Alright. Now it's time to clean off the belt first. Since the brush hole is in decent enough shape for now, I'll just leave it be. Maybe in my free time I'll get into it. Or yeah, that still has good tension on it. Finally got my Phillips bit back, and my mom needing to use it. Just a regular drill, it's not an impact driver. And even if it does strip out, I have a whole nother base I could use. And there you have it. It's now all back together. Now we just gotta plug her in and test her. Because most of the outlets on the power strip right there are in use, I'm gonna plug it in over here. First, get the cord unwound. And now we blast off. You know what? I quite like that. Works pretty darn well, if I say so myself. Again, it doesn't sound the best, but you know what? As long as it works, I think I'm good with that. Alright, I'm Jack's Vax Safety. This will be the end of the gold rush. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. What do you guys think about this kind of video? Should I keep doing it? Let me know.